Welcome to Edit 3318, Formative Assessment Module Video. Up in the right-hand corner, you'll see the bit.ly, kind of short, URL. Go ahead and access that if you would like. You may pause the video to type in that URL at the top to access this presentation. We'll flip back and forth between this and the module so that you can see everything that you need to see here. So this module is about formative and summative assessment, basically student learning assessment. Talk about classroom assessments, hot questions. Hot questions stands for higher order thinking questions, and mind mapping. The assignment that is part of this module is a two-part assignment. One is creating a mind map, and one is creating a Google form assessment. So let's take a look at the module first. So in Blackboard, this module, you'll first see an assessment and feedback presentation that you can take a look at, studying about assessments here. There's also several websites that you can look at the difference between formative and summative assessment, and you will need to know that to complete your assignment. You'll need to know what makes up each piece and the types of those assessment. Down below that, these are some different assessment tools, just some options. All of these have a free version that you can use. We'll use one specific one, Google Forms, for our assignment, but wanted you to be aware of all of the different options of things that you could use. Right below that is hot questions. Kind of tells you kind of what is involved in questioning, and you'll definitely want to understand specifically what hot questions are, as you will need to place those in your mind map. Below that is the concept mapping, or the mind mapping piece. So it talks about why we would do mind mapping or concept mapping, but to help students assess their understanding of varied concepts. 3 mind mapping tool options here: MindMaster, Poplet, or Coggle. Please explore those and make the choice of one of those that you would like to use. There is a MindMaster tutorial, a Poplet tutorial below for you to explore as well. And then below that is actually the assignment. You'll have a sample here of each one of those. If I click on the example for the MindMaster, let me kind of show you just one thing really quick. Up at the top on the right in the purple in this one, it says assessment data, and it has a piece and then it has some data piece. You do not have to put that in. So we are not doing the assessment data piece in this one. Okay, so you do not have to put that one in this assignment. The other examples do not show that, I don't believe, so they should be true to form. So this is kind of what a mind map would look like. The mind map is over assessments. So your assessments is going to be your center piece, and then you've got formative and summative over here, and you've got the different types of those. You've also got hot questions. Remember, I said hot questions will be part of it. We'll look at that assignment in just a second, and you can refer back to these examples. But this is a very nice template design or example for you to look at. That one was in Poplet. The first one was MindMaster. So kind of look at those different pieces and see which one you like. This one is in Coggle. See, again, a whole different piece. Okay, let's look at the specifics of the assignment. So in the assignment, you're going to create your own mind map about assessments using either MindMaster Coggle, and then we're going to add in here, or Poplet. And you have that other example in the course for Poplet that you can look at. So for this assignment, the center circle or center icon should be assessments, and then you should branch out for all 5 assessment types: formative, interim benchmark, summative, performance, and diagnostic. For each one of those, you need a definition and 2 examples of each one. So let's go back and let's look at one of those examples now that we know that information. So let's look at Poplet. So in this Poplet example, here is assessments. You've got formative, interim benchmark, summative, performance, diagnostic. Here is where the definition would be right below it, and then 2 examples. They're all color-coded so that, you know, the definitions are one color, the examples are one color. Okay, so that kind of gives you some visual on that piece. You will also choose a topic from the curriculum that you are using. On another branch off the center, you're going to include 2 hot questions for each of the following 3 categories. And the categories are opening questions, guiding questions, and closing questions. So let's take a look back at that Poplet. Here's your hot questions: opening, guiding, closing, and you've got 2 examples off of each. Those would be on your topic. Okay? Your mind map needs to have at least 3 visual representations, 3 images. That means 3 images somewhere on the map that tie to the content, which is like your formative assessments or your summative assessments, basically assessments, okay, or like the one that was on that Poplet. This is about higher order thinking, so that's questions. This says assessments. Okay, so there's 3 images there. Make sure that your mind map is set public so that your instructor can access the map. Okay, that was part 1 of the assignment. Okay, part 1 is the mind map. Okay, let's look back at the module for just a second. So that was all part 1. Now we're going to look at part 2. Remember we said up here at the top when we were looking at some of this information that we were going to use one of these assessment tools. We are actually going to use Google Forms. Right here is a YouTube creating a quiz with Google Forms. That's what you're going to do. You're going to create a quiz with Google Forms. There is a video right there in the module that shows you exactly how to do that. Okay, so part 2 is creating a Google Form quiz. It has to be a Google Form quiz because we're going to do something in the following module that uses those information, so you do need to do that one. You will create the Google Form. Here's the first steps of that here, but definitely watch that video. And then you're going to follow the template to complete an assignment. You're going to add a title. You're going to have 11 questions. And you're going to add, let's look over here at the module. So 11 questions. The first question is to be the name of the student. The other 10 questions should be multiple choice or true or false, and each question must be numbered. Create your questions evenly dispersed with your hot or caustic level of questioning. Okay, so that refers you right back up here to your hot questions. Okay, here's Bloom's and Costas here. Okay, so hot level of questions, higher order thinking questions. So you need them dispersed through the level. Okay, in the settings under the quizzes tab, make the Google form a quiz. And that video that I mentioned above where it says to make a Google form a quiz, that's going to show you those pieces. You need to include the answer key and the feedback, positive and negative, and you'll see that in the video for each question. You need to add your instructor as a collaborator by selecting, it's not send, it would actually be selecting the settings button and add collaborators. I'll show you that in just a second. Then you will actually need to have someone complete this assessment. For this says at least 10 students. If you are in a placement where you do not have at least 10 students, then you need to check with your instructor to see what they want you to do on that. At the end, you will export the results into a spreadsheet. Okay, the data will be used in your next assignment. So let me go into a quiz, and let me kind of show you what that looks like. So let me find a quiz that we can look at. And hopefully, okay, this is Christmas. I know it's not Christmas, but let's take a look at this one. Okay, this is a quiz. This is what you would see when you start your quiz. If I come in and I click on a question, okay, here would be my multiple choice question. And how I make it a quiz is up here under the settings. And see where it says quizzes, right here, quizzes, make this a quiz. You just turn it on and make it a quiz. And then you click save. That is going to bring up the pieces that give you this answer key, so that then you can click on answer key, select the true answer or false answer, whichever one. Then you click answer feedback, and you can give feedback for the incorrect answer, like, oops, let's review. And then for the correct answers, then you can say, good job. You can also do an attachment here if you would like, and this is brand new that you could actually give them a video. So this would be a link and this would be a video. And then you can click save. And that actually adds the feedback for that question. Okay, so one of the other pieces that it talks about is once you have sent it, so how to send your quiz to someone, you click send, and then you can actually get the link here, and you can send this link to whoever you want to for them to complete the quiz. Okay, one thing you want to be sure that you do in your settings, you need to check and see if you need to change any of this. I believe all this is fine. The quiz, we already checked that. That's all good to go. And then you would click send and the link, and you would send this link out to someone to do your quiz. Just click copy and send it. Once they have completed your quiz, then you might see their responses here, or should see their responses here. And then here is where you can export those responses to the spreadsheet. Okay, so here is where you would actually get that spreadsheet thing. Once you click this, then that spreadsheet will be in your Google Drive, and that's what you will use in the next assignment. Okay, so that was kind of a really quick little piece into the Google form as far as seeing kind of what that looks like. Here again is that review of what is the part of this assignment. Include at least 11 questions in the assessment. The first question is your name of your student. The next 10 should be multiple choice or true false, dispersed between the levels of questioning. Be sure you include the answer key and feedback, and then give the assessment. to your students in at least one class. This says 10 students. If you are not where you have 10 students, please contact your instructor for them to let you know how many students that they will let you use, or the lowest number that you can use for this assignment. Then export the results into a Google Sheet. For this assignment, you will submit the URL of your assessment concept map and the quiz URL. Okay, like we were going to take the quiz, and then upload the spreadsheet of results. So you need the link for the spreadsheet, the URL of the quiz, and the concept map. And I just thought one thing I did not show you was I did not show you how to add a collaborator, so let me do that. Back in the quiz, over here under the settings, I'm sorry, I apologize, it's not under settings, it's under the 3 dots, and it's add collaborators, okay? So in your quiz, to add your instructor as a collaborator, click the 3 dots, click add collaborators, and you would type in their email and make sure that it says edit, and that will add them as a collaborator. So that enables them, when you even send them the URL of the quiz, they're going to be able to see all of the things behind it, like the answer key, the feedback. If you do not add them as a collaborator, they will not be able to see that and cannot grade that portion. Okay, so be sure that you do add them as a collaborator. Here is the rubric for Module 7. In this rubric for formative and summative assessment, okay, the map has hot questions. There's that piece. That's worth 1 point. Then below that, you have 4 points for the content of the mind map. All of these have to be present. If you are missing even one of these assessment pieces, you lose a whole point. The Google Forms assessment, the whole piece is worth 4 points. You need all of these pieces here. Notice it even says the spreadsheet. Adding the instructor as a collaborator. Each question has feedback and positive and negative completed. The Google Form is made a quiz, meaning it will grade itself. Disperse the questions. If you are missing even one of these, then you will lose a point. Okay, so that is the formative and summative assessment piece. If you have any questions, please email your instructor.